say this, y'all. I don't even know what movie it's from, but when they like it's no crying in baseball, like basically it's no crying and you being just an awful person. Like you are not. Stop crying, Chris. Stop.
He's not even crying. Did you see a tear?
Oh,
No.
So I was signing him up for some acting classes. But that's manipulation. That's not crying.
That was the worst fake crying ever. I'm like,
he tried.
Her, because did she say why you crying?
She did. I was like, she is so.
Why are you crying now?
After she said, "Why you crying now?"
This was Paige. This was Paige throughout the episode.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Crystal Denise Speaks, and I'm here again with my girls this week to talk about Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 4. How is everybody doing?
Hey girl, hey.
Hey, good.
All right, y'all. So we were just trying to decide what order to talk about this episode in. I think we're gonna go ahead and save I don't know. I'm just really getting irritated with Paige and Chris because I feel like they're monopolizing the show.
Yeah.
So we're gonna save them to the end, and I don't mean our show, but I just mean the show in general.
Yes, I agree.
So let's just go ahead and start off with Virginia and Erik.
I felt a little bit better about them this week. I love how they connected over. She said, I laugh when I'm nervous. And he said, me too. And I was like, yeah, because you giggled through that whole wedding. And so I was starting to feel a little bit better. I think towards the end, I think he confronted her about her drinking a little bit. And she was like, I don't know how this is going to work out. So we'll see how that goes. And I don't know if it's, the storyline, and so they're highlighting her drinking, or if it's just very excessive. I haven't been able to tell yet.
It's probably a little bit of both. And I agree with you, Carrie. I'm glad you started off with that. I did definitely feel better about them this episode. And even, it's just, I like to drink too. I like a good drink. I like my nightcap, like all the stuff she likes. Like even when she ran back in the room and grabbed that champagne, I'm like, girl, I would have done, because I don't like it to go to waste. I don't like it to go to waste. So that made sense to me. But I also know when I'm, when it's appropriate and when it's not, And so I think that's her cutoff. She, so that's all, that's going to be an issue in her and the way she likes to party. And I think she thinking, oh, I'm gonna have the best of both worlds. He's a pilot, he's gonna be gone certain days, so I can be out and kicking it. I don't know.
That sounds fun to me.
How it goes.
Yes, girl. She got plans for when he gone. She's like, oh, this is gonna be perfect. Like at first, I was having some doubt, but now I can see I can have some freedom to kind of get out because her mom, his mom was a lot. She was a lot better. I think she kind of prepared herself for their meet and greet, and she came off a little bit more open, but she was like, he don't be going out, but she wanted her grandbaby. She was like, we want some kids. And she was like, I'm kind of 50-50 on that. She was not feeling that. Did you see the grandma? The grandma was like,
yeah, they are ready. Like they like, and I don't know if that's one of the questions that the experts ask. I think that's important, because when there's certain things they try to get people. I know that they try to get people past the physical. Like, let me get somebody that matches you based on your person, like a good match on personality, characters, beliefs. I feel like sometimes kids or no kids is on the same lines as religion. Like that could be if you with somebody that everything else is a match, but you 100% want kids and they don't. That could break something really quickly. So I don't know. That's a question.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, well, first of all, Key, I don't know if the mom had really changed the way she was behaving as much as she prepared herself for that meeting and was like, fix your face. Don't.
Definitely. She was better.
Yeah, I feel like she was like, okay, breathe, fix your face, go in there, act right. Don't look at this girl like she crazy. The grandmother did not do the same exercise, and she didn't care. She was like looking down her nose on her. But I felt it was inappropriate for the mom to talk about kids. Her and Erik haven't even had that conversation. I just feel like when family members do that, that's not your business. And you don't even know this woman. So you might be asking her this and she might already know she can't have kids or something. You don't know. I just feel like that is so inappropriate, personally. But like Bree is saying, that should have definitely been a part of like what they wanted when they had the conversations with the experts. Like that was kind of like last season with what was her name, Olivia and Brett. Olivia didn't really want to have kids, but he did, and I'm like, that's not fair to match people like that. So who knows what she said in the actual like interview vetting process, if she wanted them or not. But
she may have said that she wanted them. I mean, she's 26 and he's 34. And basically he was married at her age. Now, when he was married, she was still in high school. So it's like she may just not be there yet. So she could be 50-50 at 26, but in 4 years at 30, she's like, oh, okay, I want kids. I mean, she is still in trying to kick it mode. Like, I think a couple times, I don't know if it was her dad or Erik that compared her to college day. He's like, she's having a good time.
Yeah.
Which is okay in my eyes.
Yeah, it is, but if that's what you're trying to do, and Erik actually even said that, like, we're married now, we're getting married. So it's like, if you just trying to kick it and have a great time, like, that's not, like, it's not going to look the same in a marriage. And so
unless they had matched her with somebody who looking to kick it and have a good time too.
Right. Yeah. Right. Which that's what she was looking for. She was like, he was like, wait, but you did sign up to get married, so you at least have to meet me halfway. And she's like, yeah, like I did sign up to get married. She was like, but my vision of marriage was not the same as your vision. Like you wanted the wife at home and having kids and white picket fence. Like her idea of marriage was, I got me a hangout partner. I got somebody I get to share these outings with that I have, enjoying these fun times. That did not align. I think there's going to be some bumping of heads between these two because they are at two totally opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. And it seems like she is definitely more direct than he is, but he doesn't have a problem once he gets a little bit more comfortable. So he might let some stuff slide for a minute, and then we might see some arguments with them later. Is my prediction.
And what did you think? Like when he was like, I got something to tell you.
And I was like, why are you making this so dramatic?
What are you about to say? Oh my goodness! Like he is about to say, like you go out too much, you drink too much. What are you about to say?
I don't know if I don't know if it was like a coming up scene, but I knew that's what he was going to say. I knew he was trying to work up to tell her he was married, and so I was like, calm down about it. Like, don't scare her.
Yes, I felt like the way he presented that, I was like, oh my goodness.
He was nervous. Oh, y'all forgot to pop their picture again. There they go.
Yeah. Oh, I feel better about them this week. Thumbs up for me on the Erik and Virginia.
Hayley and Jacob. The man, Carrie.
So, well, that's another one. That's another one that I feel like I don't know if I felt a little bit better about them. No, I still think that it's going to have to be the act of God for them to come together on one.
Ordained by God.
But, but it's just, I don't know, I felt a little bit more bad for him because it's just, all it is he's just awkward. You know, he is 100% socially awkward. And the reason that I do kind of want to root for him a little bit is because he is really trying. He's also slightly unaware that, like, I think he said a couple of times that he thinks they might be vibing the same or on the same page. And I'm like, no, Jacob. No, Jake. Whatever you guys are not. I see that you're trying, but yeah, something else is going to have to work. There's no sparks. There's nothing there right
now. Yeah, I agree. He's not very aware of that they're not having the same experience. And I give it to Hayley. I feel like she's really just trying. And so I'm in between, like, does she need to be a little bit more honest, or is she being kind and just trying to allow things to kind of develop? Because I get if you walk down the aisle and you're not like originally like attracted to somebody, but I personally am gonna have a hard time coming back from you telling me in the very beginning that you're not attracted to me. But attraction can grow. So maybe in the very beginning you're not attracted to me, but our attraction grows and you really love me and you're attracted to me now. I don't want to know that you weren't attracted.
I definitely don't think that you just no, you don't. I You don't need to give somebody a list of things that you don't like about them, right? Like you start with the things you do like about them, and I think that hopefully, because he is kind of awkward and they're just not meshing yet. They haven't really got on the same page. They haven't found anything to talk about that they like can kick it about. So I think they just need to grow a friendship, because he does seem sweet, and I'm like Brie, I'm turning the corner on them, because at first I thought his aloofness was like assholey. Like I didn't like, now I just know it's like take him a minute. He needs to he just needs a minute to warm up. But I don't think he's a mean guy, or that he's not a nice guy. He's just he doesn't know how to show. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say he doesn't know how to show his personality is, because maybe it's not there. I don't.
That is his personality. That is his personality, and that's pretty much what he said too. Like he's not very vocal or verbal.
Mm-hmm.
He's more. I think he said his actions. And because he's socially awkward, I mean, that is his personality. So I agree, Carrie. They have to figure out a way to grow a friendship so that it can help her figure out how is she going to be able to connect with him, so that they can have some. I mean, no matter what, they are two different type of people with different types of energy. So that's always going to be a difference. So they, hopefully they can find a way to come together, and somehow meet in the middle. But girl, that is his personality. He is just, I don't know. And I think it's family, because they talked to him at the wedding and he talked about the same things, of course. I think they was playing him, or just like doing something when they said her she can sear a mean steak or something. I think that was bait. I think because he was so geeked about that. And then when he came back, he was telling her, and she was like, well, yeah, I mean, I like all types of food. She was not like, oh yes, that's my favorite.
He was excited.
She was not feeling that. She was like, no, I like all types of food. I don't necessarily have a favorite when it comes to food. She was like, don't get it twisted, because she was worried about what her family was saying. And she was like, no, sir, I still think that's weird that you eat only steak and eggs. Like, I'm buying into that. And he said he ate 2 pounds of meat. She was like, 2 pounds?
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot. Like,
no. And then he said he was like trying to figure out his gut issues. I'm like, your gut issues, or you got a whole bunch of red meat stuck in your gut?
Sir,
like that's the gut issue.
Nothing
you
is
have no
moving
microbiome, whatever you have in. No, stop eating all that meat. Your stomach cannot process.
He need like a good 7-day juice cleanse.
Yes.
And then a 7-day colonic after that. He needs
Yes. But y'all, why did he sit down with them parents and talk about them tropical plants, and he turned his house into a spa? I was like, sir.
No, but last week it was a beach. Now it's a spa.
Well, I will say this: you talked about Erik's mom and her preparing, and fixing her face. Bless Hayley's parents' heart, because her mom did the same thing. Like, I mean, that was the exact same conversation he had with her at the wedding. Like,
yes. And she handled it very well, because I would have been like, no, you are. Oh yeah, I remember you told me. Girl, he pulled out the phone with the pictures.
Y'all, the ring. No, he pulled out the Ring camera. Like, let me show you my Ring camera.
My security system.
Somebody got to see. At least this time somebody got to see, because he was talking about it so much. I'm like, see what you have going on. He's so proud of it. He is so proud.
He is. I feel sorry for him.
They're gonna need help. They're gonna need help to move forward.
They are, and again, I don't think like Carrie was saying, don't give a list of things that I don't like about you. I don't want her to do that, but I want her to give him some hints. Like, okay, you told me about your beach like 20 times. Tell me about something else, you know? Like just a little hint like that.
Nice and subtle.
That could help.
Right.
Or she could just change the subject and not have to shade him with that little comment. She could just
no, that's a hint. He needs a hint, Carrie.
Yeah. No, but you can actually just ask him, like, "Oh, okay, well, it's good to hear about your house. Tell me a little bit more about you. Like, what do you do besides? Do you leave your house for fun? Do you?"
No, but I think we've learned everything.
I think so.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. He stays at everything's at his house. He doesn't have to leave.
Okay, great.
And he talked about as a child, he was awkward and like.
And his brother bust him upside the head with them bifocals he had on.
Right, and now
he can't go diving. After you gonna ask for a suggestion, he'd be like, "Oh, one time my brother knocked me out and bust me upside the head, and I get water in my ear when they." I was like, "Oh, is that why you don't have a beach at your, at your sandbox? Is that why there's no water there at this beach?"
Okay, so first of all, y'all, why was I like, I had to rewind it because I was like, are those his parents or his grandparents? Like, who are these old people that she talking to?
Girl, she was like, the teachers used to say he was 5 going on 85.
Yeah, I know Hayley walked away from that like feeling hopeless, like thinking like this is. You know how sometimes you can see something maybe he hasn't warmed up and you can see what his parents are like and maybe it might be different or there's something more to this. She walked away with the same feeling, the same type of conversation she has with him, she had with his parents. I think she was a bit defeated when she left that conversation.
He's a grown man. Okay, let's anybody else have anything else on them?
No.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to Clara and Ryan. Y'all have some thoughts about them.
I don't even know where to start. I would love to hear y'all feedback on them because it's like it should be working, but it's not. But it's like I don't know why. I don't know what's really going on with them.
She has like the same level of awareness as what's his name? As who were we just talking about? As Jacob.
Really?
Like
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I feel like she thinks that we're so compatible. This is so great. This is a great match. But the whole time she is sitting there talking, like in his head, I feel like he's like, if she would just shut up, just shut up, just shut up. Like he just wants her to be quiet. Like. Poor Boo Boo talks. I mean, I'm a talker, okay? So I feel sorry for her. She talks a lot. Like, she talks a lot. She talks a lot. But then on the same side, I'm like, he kind of gives this arrogance off to me. Like, he's right. And his way of being is right. Like, he's very controlled and likes things a certain way.
I didn't get that from him.
I did. What did I say? He he was just so disappointed that she didn't like Breaking Bad. Like it was just such a disappointment to him.
I don't know. I thought that was so serious.
I took that as like a joking way. Like I didn't take it in a serious way at all. Like I mean, I do feel like he is very controlled and like structured, but I don't see the arrogance yet. I mean, just the simple fact that he's like, he made it very clear that she is a talker and he would be okay with silence sometimes that she's obviously not giving him. But it's clear that, I mean, he still, for whatever reason, is liking her and wants to see where this goes. I think he's still very open, but they have some pretty high differences for sure.
Yeah, I see him as flexible. He notices the differences and how she's like high strung and she's very talkative and she's kind of weird. I'm finding out, but he is flexible. He's like, that's just the way she is, you know. And he seemed disappointed, I would say, when she said she didn't like Breaking Bad. Like when they were talking about their different movie preferences, you know, I just took it like that. So he seems to be understanding me.
I thought that was cool that they, because that's a good topic. You get to know somebody's personality and some of the things they like. I thought it was cool they talked about that. I'm curious to see what y'all think his brother thought.
Girl, and his mom and them. She was like, "This is not what we expected, but you know what, God." Mistakes.
But I think that was edited.
A word? Did his brother even say a word? I mean, he sat up there and looked at her. Like, first he was looking at her, and then he was looking at the sky or the ceiling. Like, why is he here? Like, I don't.
It was weird. It was just like nobody's really feeling anybody in this storyline. I don't know why.
Yeah, they're not.
His brother was looking at her like, Becky.
Yeah, it was, his brother was not interested in being there. One of the things that I wrote was, so this goes back to like the children thing. You know, if their religion or their relationship with God or whatever they have is important to them, you don't match them with someone who it's not important to. And I don't think that Ryan's religion is as important as it is, like, as important to him as it is to his parents. I think it's more important to them. And I think Ryan is one of those people who's like, well, I grew up going to church, like my parents are ministers, we're Christians, but I don't know that it's that important to him as much as it's important to him that she falls in line because it's important to the parents.
Yep. If I could, that's spot on. That's exactly what I observed. That's exactly how I would explain it. It's just, and you have those people, because I'd be one of those people that'll be like, okay, let's fall in line, But you have people that's like, why? I'm gonna be me, and that.
So he just want her to fake the funk with him.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
She's not really into that, and I think that goes into her self-awareness, because she did mention it. She did mention that she thinks that if she wonders if they would be concerned. Well, it was weird. She did a year. Did she say she did a year in ministry school?
She said she did Bible college for a year, and then
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, she said she went to Bible college for a year. She told Ryan that, and then she said since then she's just been out of Christianity or whatever. But it was so weird because, like, Brie, what you're saying, her self-awareness, like right before she went to meet up with them, he says, both my parents are ministers, and that's when she said, oh, well, I went to Bible college, I'm not into that anymore. But then when she sat down with him, she's like, she's like, he made a hell of a first impression. And then, has he ever lived with the woman? I'm like, why are you asking these people these questions that you probably,
Yes, I noticed that too. That was interesting. I was like, "Ooh, is that the first question you want to ask?" And you out here.
I wonder if the experts I wonder if the dinner setting is strategically, if they have that instead of like a comfortable, like maybe somebody's living room or something. I wonder if the dinner specifically allows them to see certain parts of somebody's character. I don't know, because it's very interesting. I don't know. I thought about this with what's her name, Virginia. Like, I was so disappointed. I'm like, girl, why are you hanging all on the table like this with your fork in your hand and elbows all on the table? And you had this little girl that's probably about 10 years old sitting there up, her table manner is better than yours, and then the same thing with Hayley. You go in there, I think she was the only one. She was like, yeah, I'll have a glass of wine. Yep, I'll bring my wine. She's the only one drinking, having a good, I mean, it's very interesting.
Yeah, what about her sleepwalking? He said she was sleepwalking.
What was that?
That's why I said she is weird. What's wrong with her?
And sleep talking.
So and he was like, I just did what she said. And
he said she yelled in her sleep. Or it was.
What was she telling him to do when you're asleep? Like, what were you took? Because he was like, I just did what she said. And
move over, turn over.
Maybe that's it. Give me the covers.
He's like, I can't get any peace, not even at nighttime. She can talk.
Right. He said
I'm never gonna get rest.
And then he made me think. It sounded like she sleep like a little toddler. He was like, she was all across the face.
She was tossing and turning all night.
Turning sideways.
Oh my
She
goodness.
talked about the romantic, like, you know how everybody mentioned like what happened. She was like, we didn't go to Pound Town. I never heard that before.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, so she
We
just,
didn't go
you
yet.
know, sometimes we don't really know, like, it is the self-awareness and just having that filter. And it's just like that nervous, like the first thing that come out of your mouth is just like, probably should have been the last thing.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about my favorite couple.
I love them.
Brianna and
They look
Vincent.
so cute. They're gonna have some cute babies.
They
I love them.
are.
They're gonna have cute babies.
They are. I love them. I just said it felt like I think Vincent said it felt like they'd known each other, and it does. They just seem really comfortable.
Yes.
And not in a weird way, like, why are y'all already like hugged up, you know? Like Virginia, when she talked about her and Erik, I'm just like, she's like, I've never felt like this for anybody. I'm like, girl, you've been drunk the whole time. Like, what do you mean? I'm confused. But like Brianna and Vincent, it just seems really natural and real.
Yes.
I just kept saying they are so cute, comfortable. The one thing that I'm interested to know more about was when she was talking with his family and they were like, oh, you know, when he gets mad, you know, he has a temper, like you have to like calm him down. And that seemed like that was something that was important to her that he didn't have. Even like her mom and her sisters questioning him, it kind of seemed like that was an important thing. But the fact that he was like, oh, absolutely, it takes a lot to get me mad. I never have a temper, like never. Like
the opposite of what they said.
Right. I was like, and she seemed like she may have encountered, like Brianna may have encountered somebody who gets really angry or yells, and that's kind of a concern for her.
Right.
So when his story was polar opposite of his sister's. His sister was like, when he gets mad, like.
So with Vincent, I wonder, in the sister describing that he gets really mad, she didn't give, because, so I'm looking at it as her perspective is that he's mad, but mad for him might be different from what Brianna doesn't like. You know what I mean? Like maybe his mad because he is always so calm. Maybe his mad is like he want to keep going over the details, or he want to keep going over the situation, and he's like confrontational about it, right? Not necessarily like aggressive or physical, or even his volume, you know, because like, you know, so it doesn't necessarily mean like that he's I don't know if I wondered if it was the show, because they are so perfect, like having to, you know, have some kind of drama and just, you know, I just didn't take it, because unless he completely does a 180, I can't see him getting like that. You know what I mean? Like some of the things that I wrote down about him, or I really appreciated about him, he can express himself. You know, I love a man who can say, like, he was like, I'm really happy. I'm so happy. I just love that, because, you know, sometimes they feel like they gotta, you know, be hard or something, like they can't show, you know, that, you know, something excites them or makes them happy. So I really like the words that he used, and, you know, just describing how he felt about the situation, because to me, if I'm in my head and, you know, we're in this crazy new situation, I'm going to feel like, dang, what's he thinking? What's he thinking? The more you like reassure someone like what you're thinking, I think it just, you know, builds that bond even more, especially if you're on the same page, you know? So I love that they were on the same page and that they were able to express that. And I think that's going to be something that's so important in their relationship going forward, is being able to express and talk about their feelings. And it seems that they both have that.
Yeah, I think they are very compatible in that way with the communication. The one thing that stood out to me is just them talking about how hard he works, rightfully so, especially when he's, you know, building his own brand, his own company, and how that kind of stood out to her as, you know, not wanting to put work in front of family and home. And so hopefully that's not something that becomes an issue for them, just how often he works. Because I mean, to be honest, I thought when he got that phone call, I was a little worried, like, oh my gosh, this is the first day, and I thought he was taking a work call or something like that. You know, it was unfortunate. It was about his grandmother, but that was my first thought when he got that call. And she handled it so well. You know, she was so supportive of him. You know, I don't know.
Yes.
I think they're gonna be pretty good.
Yes, I love them. And I loved how like they both kept saying, I'm so happy with how this turned out because, they both were nervous because I think you want to see people go into it with, the same mindset. And it seems like they did, and that, like, I hope this works out forever. And then that they were both excited, like from, the first moment. And it just made it, it shows me like, that can happen. Like people can just really vibe like that and click like
Mhm.
that, in real life. Like, yeah, we're watching reality TV, but these people had never seen each other. And I think you can tell when it's real, when you're watching them and when you're watching other couples, you can tell like they really clicked. And it can happen like that fast. I love it.
And I think that's what you should expect. I mean, at least that's what I expect out of a show like this. I mean, you're
Yes.
signing up. If I was to sign up for a show like this, I mean, you're expecting the experts to do the matching, do the due diligence, and researching the people, and really making a great connection because you're signing up for marriage.
Yes.
It's not just a dating show. It's like you're getting married to this person.
Yes.
Well, I definitely think that they're the MVP of the show at this point, as far as like being matched. And like, I'm sure that there's going to be some challenges for them, but I think overall they're going to stand the test of
Agreed.
time. All right, let's go ahead and talk about it. Paige and Chris. Okay, I just have to say this, y'all. I don't even know what movie it's from, but when they like, it's no crying in baseball. Like basically, it's no crying in you being just an awful person. Like you are not. Stop crying, Chris. Stop. You're
He's not even crying. Did you see a tear?
Oh,
No.
No.
So
And
I
that
was
was
sign him up for some acting classes, but
was
that's
the worst
manipulation.
fake-
That's not
That
crying.
was the worst fake crying ever. I'm like,
He
I
tried.
appreciate her because did she say why you crying?
She did. I was like, she is so
Why are you
sweet.
crying now?
After
Chris?
she said, "Why you crying now?"
This was
Girl.
Paige. This was Paige throughout the episode.
Girl, I was like, I commend her because she is better than me. Because after you told me you're not attracted to me, and then you went to Pound Town with me, and then you want to sit here, and she walked over to him like, "What's wrong, husband? What is going on?" This, and she just thinking that this marriage is like stressing him out. The fact that he realized he didn't got married, but
Yeah. Oh, you talk about the first time she asked him why he's crying.
initially, yes, before he went off and didn't come back after breakfast.
Without food.
No food,
With no
honey.
food. And then said, "What's up?" He in the room and said, "What's up?"
He
Like,
said,
who
"What's
says
up?"
what's up?
Girl,
You
y'all
like?
you
Are
and
you
your
serious?
yes.
Girl, Paige, and I don't think that he was ready for Paige. He was not ready for someone who was going to confront him in a non-aggressive way. And that's why he kept spinning. Like, that's why he had to cry because he didn't even know what to say. She was not going to engage him in an argument that he wanted. That's what he wanted. And okay, so I'm sorry. Let's start back over because we like, jumping into two different situations. So the morning after, I felt like that was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen ever.
Mhm.
And, for him, I just don't understand how he thought that any of that was okay. Like any of, having sex with her and having sex with her again in the morning and then leaving. Like I don't understand how he thought that was okay. But why did he think the best route was to say, I'm not attracted to you? Like, why did he pick that resolution to that conversation? I'm so like, did he have any other options to go with? Did he, did he consider anything else?
And
Girl,
he
he
threw
was
No.
having a
all
nervous
that on her.
breakdown. He was having
He
a nervous
threw all
breakdown.
that on her on an empty stomach, y'all. He never
Oh
even
my
came
God.
back for breakfast.
So
I'm sorry.
disrespectful.
I'll get past that. But homegirl, I mean, people get hangry. Like that was just okay, move on. I just had to get
But
that out.
I mean, it's like you're on camera, like you have specific days to film, so you know that you're about to go back and have this conversation, and you thought that this was okay. This is what you wanted to present. So to me, he doesn't see anything wrong with it.
Well,
He
No,
thinks
he
that he was
doesn't.
being honest.
yes,
He doesn't.
wants a prize for being honest and disclosing his dissatisfaction for her.
Oh my gosh.
And that, I know we haven't got there, but them parents.
So we can get there next.
Wait, okay, let's just get there. But I just want to go ahead and give out my hot mess award. Since we're about to talk about his parents, where is it? Oh, actually, I changed it. It's a trash bag award, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it to his mom. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to her.
Last week, I really was like, when y'all said no, the mom, I did not think she was that bad, and I thought, but this week, honey, I was like, ma'am,
I watched too much.
people handle things
SVU.
differently. Really?
Did he have a drink?
Did
Was
he have a
drinking?
drink?
I watched too
Ma'am,
much SVU.
I'm not
That is
condoning
so
his behavior.
inappropriate.
It was.
And she
I
never
think-
called her beautiful. Everybody at that table was trying to reassure
Oh, yeah.
Paige.
And
Like,
that was
you're beautiful.
intentional.
She was like,
That's
your
intentional.
spirit.
That's intentional.
Your spirit. And girl, you got it going on together. You got your stuff. Like,
His mama trifling. She is, and she said, "I'm not trying to defend him." Yes, you are. I mean, basically, y'all, she was justifying him having sex with her because he had a drink. I was so appalled. Like, oh, he wasn't in his right frame of mind, so that was okay. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Not
You
at all.
do not give him a pass like that. And I'm glad she threw that out there. Like, yeah, he wasn't drunk in the morning. He did it again.
Okay.
I bet that wig was all types of crooked in the morning, and that didn't give him no
Girl.
pause.
Girl,
It was crazy.
and so, but that's what I'm going back to with Chris and his behavior. It's okay to him because look who he was raised by. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
And the daddy even condoned him. Like, well, I'm glad that I raised a gentleman and that
To tell
he
the
was-
truth.
To tell the truth and be honest with her.
He should have
Right.
told the truth and been honest with her before he consummated the marriage. Okay, twice. He should have been honest and true then. His mother is disgusting, and as a woman to say that, did he have a drink? I'm like so irritated. Like the whole, and then the dad.
And this is what they leave us to deal with. Like, you did not raise. They like, I raised him. You did not raise him right. Like, you should not condone this. And then you be wanting the women to just accept it. Like, no, that is not how you treat a woman. And her daddy said, well, I do not tolerate you. You need to be treating her right. And I don't want you to hurt her. Like, she's
Too
already
late.
hurt.
Already hurt.
Too late.
Like,
And then he's talking about, I didn't want you to tell my parents about my sexual life. Listen, sir, this is over. This is about to be over. I don't care what I tell your parents.
And
So
that was
you
almost
are-
like they were pumping her up because it was going to be over. It was like they were basically giving her a pep talk because I don't know. I have so many thoughts about that whole situation, but it was, in my eyes, I felt like they thought, okay, this is the end of it, and they were like encouraging her, go on and be great now. It's it's not you, it's him. You guys go in your separate ways. It was just so ridiculous, yeah. And the way that he went off because she shared that. I'm from Chicago. We don't just respect,
Girl.
our family. We don't just our
Parents,
our
cousins,
in my
dogs.
culture.
yo, but first of all, it's disrespectful for me to talk to my friends and to your parents about this, but you can sit on national TV with your pastor, your daddy, and all your friends and talk about my body on our wedding day.
Yes.
That's acceptable.
That's exactly what I thought about. I was like, oh, but y'all didn't say that before the wedding. Oh,
Right.
The wedding
Right.
You show was talking
Right.
about
Yes.
they was insinuating
They
how he
set
was
the
going to
stand.
get it
They
in
set the tone from the
from the
freaking-
beginning. And
the-
it was
the
all kicks
vows.
and giggles then. But then now when I tell you and I let the cat out the bag that you was just trying to get you some, now it's a problem.
Now it's a problem.
No,
And
sir.
my favorite thing about the episode yesterday is I think Paige taught us all how to react in a situation like that. Like that whole Chicago and the whole family thing. He wanted her to be like, I didn't disrespect your mama. He wanted her to say that.
He wanted her to
He
engage.
needed her because he wanted to just have an argument. And she just sat there. Yeah, I told your parents. And I called some of my friends too. Everybody say you wrong. Like, Yes, that's how. That's
Okay.
And then he gonna say you shouldn't call I don't want you talking to your male friends
Out,
about
oh yeah, I
and
want my
and
wife
the
talking to her male friends about our sex. And now I'm your wife.
now
right
your wife.
and I don't as a husband I take precedence over them. You don't even want me. Like
Girl,
why?
you weren't here. I had to call. I called your phone. You didn't answer. So
Right.
we're supposed to
And
sit
then
here.
and then he was like, I've been respectful. I haven't disrespected you. And she was like, in your eyes, I do love her demeanor. She
Yes.
has really held herself together and hasn't like gotten in his tail because
And
because
I'm
she was just like in
thinking,
your eyes.
and I'm thinking Paige must be better than her own family because I don't know if y'all realize he didn't even meet with her family. We skipped over
We
all
have
of
not
that.
seen that.
So
No.
I'm thinking that she called them and she was like, look, this is what happened. And she probably got some people that's like, oh, don't let me get in front of this fool because I'm going to act a fool. I'm thinking that was a reason why he didn't meet with her people because her people, her brother, her mom, they've all been, her sister, they've all been engaged. There was a reason he didn't meet with them. And it was probably because her family was like, what I want to say or do can't be on TV right now.
Not on Lifetime.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I
maybe
hope
they just saving some juicy stuff for us the next episode.
Maybe.
Because
They didn't put that in the previews though. I mean, I hope that's what it is. But in the comments, on I think it was like the first or the second video that we did in the comments, somebody was like, "Where are the male figures in her life? Like, why is she at this wedding and she's getting disrespectfully talked to by him? Asking all these sex questions, and then disgustingly disrespected, inappropriately talked to by the dad. Like, where are her people? Like, where are the men in her life? Or where are her people?" So, because all we saw at the reception even was the girlfriend, dealing with him. So I'm questioning that. I don't know, but y'all.
Her brother was in the first episode though. And
when they sat at that table, that was it.
When he said she was really picky.
Yeah, when it was outside, it was like nighttime. I think that was
but he was like talking to her about his experience being married. I don't know. I was surprised that he wasn't more present. You're right, Crystal. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I know we're giving Paige all these props for the way she handled, the way she wouldn't engage him when he wanted to argue, the way she challenged him and said, in your eyes. But I was just so like the next day, and they're getting ready, and they're going on a honeymoon, and and she was like, "Oh yeah, like trying to be all optimistic." Girl, what happened? Like, why are you even trying with him at this point? I'm so confused. So right now, I'm mad at Paige. I just am.
Girl, she said they are married. This is ordained by God. She said that the vows. When she talked about the vows, she said she came to hold us. She went her vows and his intention and the purpose, and I don't know. I just
She wants the situation, but
she's like, he had a moment, but now we gonna work through it together.
I'm sorry. That's just, she's stronger than I am. Because it's just hard to get past that. I don't know. Because she acted as if none of it had happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's the weirdest thing. But she wants this so bad. So maybe that's a driver for her. I'm sure that's a lot of the reason why she even gave him the wedding night. I knew from the first episode, whoever her husband was, she was getting it in. So, and then coming to be paired with Chris, and he like, oh yeah, I need a freak. So I knew that was gonna go down. But maybe she's just like, and she is in awe by him. I think she feels like I got me a catch. Even
that's so gross
stuff he said. She's feeling like he's a catch.
I just don't understand, because he, like she said, or he said, everything looks good on paper, but you have to go by what you see in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And she can see that he's disrespectful. She can feel that he's disrespectful. She can see that he obviously didn't go into this in the best place because he told her, I had a fiance 2 months. Like, all of these things she's experiencing and choosing to ignore. And I And that's the sad part, because on one hand, I love how vocal she is and how she's able to, like, she can clock it and she can say something in the moment, but then she she completely lets that go when she gets back into her head, and it's like, well, this is what I want, maybe no. And then you have to go back and you have to look at your past situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, were you like this in your previous relationships? Did you accept less than in your previous relationships and you didn't learn to not do that again? You know what I'm saying? Like, take those lessons from the previous relationships, and also make sure you demand it different for your next one. You know what I'm saying? And that's where she hasn't she's going back to, like, she's sliding back to accepting, and I don't get it.
I think she's giving him this. She's giving it a lot of weight because they are married. But the thing is, this is a complete stranger, and
Mhm.
you have to give him, basically, you need to judge him on his actions. You can't give him credit for years of a marriage or relationship off rip if he's
Mhm.
showing you that that's not who he is, and that he
Mhm.
doesn't even want this thing. Like, he is being clear, like, I am not attracted. He said, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm just not there yet. Like, he didn't even give a number.
Oh wow, y'all.
So,
That's so intentional. To me, his, like, everything is,
and he
and
had a
even
big
the
box of
way, if you go
condoms.
back to
Y'all
look
see
at
that? The big box of condoms he had.
Was that
I
him
think
or
that
I
was,
thought
I
they
think she
left
said
it?
that that was like provided, like when they went in the room, she was like, look what they gave us. Or, that's how, I
Yeah.
don't know. But
Oh,
I'm
okay.
wondering, like, the fact that his parents are like, oh, okay, well, too bad it didn't work out. And then he's like, nope, nope. And, it's like the night after, I'm like, something is suspect about this whole situation, even with the parents.
Yes.
And I wonder if he went into this to get on TV and say, "Hey, it didn't work out," and then, but you got on the season, you got casted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It seems like he's not even, like, he wants it to be over almost.
Yeah.
I agree with Carrie. He didn't have good intentions, and I can't get away from just how disrespectful he is and how arrogant. And I know, Crystal, you were trying to talk about this when she get on my nerves when she was helping him get undressed. Girl, I'm just like, and oh, like he's arrogant, and I know I keep saying everybody's not self-aware, but he ain't self-aware because I feel like he truly believes his chest is big. Where, sir? You don't have
So
Did you hear how he was talking about himself? He was like, I'm charismatic, I'm dope, I'm good looking. Like, he was talking himself up in that bed. I was like, sir, you're
when you
not.
gonna stop? And I thought he was gonna laugh. I thought he was gonna laugh because it was a joke. No, you
Mm-mm.
serious? Like,
He was
he's
serious.
such a turn off. He's such a turn off.
He
it is.
literally makes me want to throw up.
He
He's
didn't have
very
one muscle.
self-absorbed. Like, you calm down, sir.
All right. Does anybody else have anything? We lost Key, but anybody else have anything they need to say?
If this is not for real and he wasn't a real person, and if there was any type of plot for him to be on, I'm very disappointed because she gonna end up being hurt, and he is just the epitome of a nasty person, and there's nothing good about him.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed. I mean, I get where she's coming from as far as, she feels like God had his hand in this. She takes marriage seriously. Um, okay, you're back.
Yay.
Okay. So I mean, I get where she's coming from, she feels like God has had his hand in this. She takes marriage very seriously, and I mean, I can relate to, I mean, I'm not married, but I can relate to that. Like, as a Christian, I feel like the institution of marriage, like this covenant, it's like serious and it's important, and I wouldn't enter into it lightly, and I would not want divorce to be an option. But that's why I wouldn't go on a show like this because clearly the producers and the ratings are more important than your actual
That's
your
so
act
sad.
your well-being, right? Because they did not care about her when they matched her with him. I cannot believe that he hid who he was.
That is really sad because I really thought, like, when I just started this show this season, and I want to be like I want to see the Briannas and the what's his name. I want to see the Deanna and Greg from last season. Like, if I was single, I would totally sign up for this show. Like, hey, I want to go and get married at first sight. I thought it was like something that was cool, and I would think like this would be a perfect way to find a good match. But like, what if you get that one, guy whose intentions are not even, to go on the show to fall in love, whatever the motivation was, and then you're the one that's, the one that's on the outside. That would be awful.
Yeah. I agree.
So I
well, I know Carrie has a hard stop. Do you need to go ahead and be out?
I do. Y'all can do an after show.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Carrie. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye,
All
Carrie.
right, this is the after party, y'all. I'm just playing. All right, we could continue to talk about Paige and Chris forever. I feel like they are literally monopolizing the show. It's getting on my nerves. But this was a good episode. I'm looking forward to next week, this bombshell. All I have to say is Paige better not be like, oh, this is awful. You got a baby in the way. We gonna make it work. Like, I don't know what is gonna happen. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know.
She will be like, let's push through.
And he gonna be no. I don't.
This is the type of relationship where he gonna be the one that have to be like, well, she's not getting the hint. Like, she's not getting the hints. He just gonna have to like be like, okay, what I'm trying to say is,
he's just gonna ghost her.
Right, he is gonna ghost her. Like, how you ghost your wife? My husband ghosted me. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. We will be putting out, it's not a review, it's just our commentary, our thoughts on the episode every week, every Saturday. So subscribe, hit that bell button so you're notified when our videos do hit thumbs up this video if you liked it, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
See y'all.